So I've got a couple of big updates on the Galaxy S27 Ultra, including one thing: Samsung is finally upgrading after 4 generations of Ultra phones. Let's get into it. What's up guys, Sal here. So first up, the Galaxy S27 Ultra could bring the biggest camera upgrade we've seen on a Samsung phone in years. Ice Universe says Samsung will replace the primary, ultra-wide and front cameras while keeping the telephoto the same. So what's changing? Well, for the main camera, Samsung originally planned a 1x1.1-inch 200 megapixel sensor called HPA, but instead they've gone with a refined version called HP6, which is slightly smaller at 1x1.3-inch, but don't worry, it's still expected to deliver performance closer to the bigger sensor. The real highlight here is something called LOFEC, which stands for Lateral Overflow Integration Capacitor. Think of it like HDR but in steroids. Normally, HDR takes multiple shots at different exposures and merges them, which can lead to ghosting or weird processing. LOFEC handles all of that at the hardware level in a single shot. Each pixel manages extra light on its own, so you get better highlights, cleaner shadows, and more natural looking images. And more importantly, you avoid that over-processed HDR look while still getting all the benefits. It's especially useful for video since every frame carries that wider dynamic range without flickering or ghosting. In real-world use, it means you can capture bright highlights and deep shadows in the same shot without one ruining the other. Now we still don't know what upgrades the other cameras are getting, but it's good to see Samsung finally upgrading the camera hardware. The Ultra lineup has been using pretty similar sensors for the past 4 years, so this was long overdue. Moving on, one of the reasons the S26 Ultra doesn't have built-in magnets is because they interfere with the S Pen's EMR tech. To fix that, Samsung needs a new kind of S Pen that doesn't rely on a digitizer, and they've been actually working on it. But will it be ready for the S27 Ultra? Well, according to South Korea's ET News, Samsung did test a new stylus for the S27 Ultra, but decided not to go ahead with it. No clear reason was mentioned, but the bottom line is it's not coming to the S27 Ultra. So yeah, that means no built-in magnets again. A bit disappointing, but also understandable. If it comes down to magnets or the S Pen, I'll still take the S Pen. You can always use a magnetic case and get similar functionality anyway. Now here's something interesting. Samsung has officially confirmed that the Galaxy S26 lineup is getting AirDrop support. It's already rolling out in Korea, with US next in line later this week and more regions coming later. And no, it's not just for the S26 lineup. Other Samsung devices should get it too, most likely with the stable One UI 8.5 update. And honestly, it's kinda crazy to think you can now send and receive files between iPhones, iPads, Macs and other Apple devices without any weird workarounds. Took long enough, but here we are. Also, just to be clear, Apple has nothing to do with this. This is Google making it happen without Apple even being involved, which makes it even more interesting. With Samsung's scale, this could seriously hit Apple's walled garden approach. And that's a big deal because one of Apple's strongest lock-in features just lost its exclusivity. When that wall exists, people don't always choose Apple because it's better, they choose it because leaving is a hassle. Once sharing across platforms becomes this easy, that advantage starts to disappear. You can finally pick a phone based on what it actually does best, not the headache of switching ecosystems. With that said, Samsung is still running these offers on the S26 Ultra and the Buds 4 Pro. You'll find the link in the description below. And also, for the first time ever, Samsung might be heading into something it hasn't really faced since the start of its mobile division. Click here to know more, and I'll see you there.